Yeah,
All right,
I just keep
hello
it steady on
everybody.
the
Welcome
magic.
back to
Do
the
my thing, I'm
Uprooted
healing, it's
podcast.
fantastic.
Yeah, we're gonna just have
If I
some
fall,
good
rise
conversation
automatic.
about some good
You ain't
topics
on
with
that,
good
you
people.
know. I'm the one raised myself like a tree from the roots. West side girl, cause she lit in the coast. East side girl when she speaks to the roots. Stay 100 cause she on with the truth. Been there on struggle, know that it pass. Only going up, yeah, the pain don't last. Ooh, take off. Ooh, take off. Ooh, take off. This is take off, take off, take off. Shorty like Brandy, fight like Monica. What you know about her? Baby girl rising, wet at the top. Shaking the world, don't expect her to stop. Purpose so great, she get what she got. Follow her step, cause she following God. What you need more, got a heart full of gold. Even at times when it's raining and cold. Ooh, she bout take off.
Hey, y'all. It's your girl Hannah, aka Ruta, and of course, you're watching the Uprooted podcast. Y'all, I know you are ready for today. I have my girl Eden coming on, and we are talking about Make Injera Not War. They have been doing amazing, phenomenal work, and you know how I love to hype my girls up. So Eden, who is interning with them and is doing amazing work, is going to be coming on today to talk to us all about it. You know, let us know. Put us on game, sis. Put us on game. So we want to talk about how you use fashion to push a movement forward, also to fundraise and make money. So really excited to have her coming on today. And you already know, I had to get my shirt right for my girl. So yeah, how's y'all Wednesday doing? I know this is not my normal time, but I just try to make stuff work for y'all. And as soon as my sis is in here, I'm gonna pull her up. Hope y'all are having a beautiful Wednesday like me. Got the whole fam here. Okay. Ooh, sis, I see you. Alrighty. Oh, y'all, let me find out y'all be on the internet in the morning. Let's see. Hey.
Hey, how are you?
Evan!
How are you?
Welcome. Good. How are you, sis?
I'm good.
Man, first of all, I'm gonna have to push back so you can still see my shirt. Cause I got my shirt on for you, sis.
You know what's sad? I couldn't find my shirt today. I really wanted to wear it. but
It's okay. It's okay. We all do it. First of all, welcome. I'm over here talking to you like I forget there's an audience sometimes. So let's first introduce you to the group here and tell them who you are. I kind of gave a little bit of a description, but if you want to, just let the people know who you are and why I have you here today.
yeah, so my name is Eden. Tigray. Basically, I've been interning with Make Injera Not War since January, and Make Injera Not War is a campaign against the genocidal war in Tigray. And basically, we use fashion as a way to advocate against the war. And as you can see, Hannah has a shirt on. She's kind of like, I also have my tote with me. So I'll show that to y'all really quickly. This is what it looks like. So this is one of our designs. Hannah has a shirt in white. We also have it in black.
Yep.
Yeah, so pretty much I've been interning with them. It's a really cool organization, and it's been a nice way to kind of, get involved with the community, to really make sure that, putting in my part to help advocate against what's going on.
Yo, and y'all are killing it. I just gotta say y'all are killing it. I know that it was a quick turnaround. I feel like the war started and then I saw Make Injera the next day. I was like, oh, hi, how are you? Like very quickly. And I just thought the concept was really brilliant. And I was like, okay, cool. But I also knew like how everybody was working behind the scenes and trying to like scramble to get things done. So I was like, when they're ready, they will come out and say hello to the rest of us. So I know that was quite a journey, but let's talk a little bit about just the concept, right? So like, is there a reason why, or like how that the phrase "Make Injera Not War" like even came about, or is this?
So I personally like joined the organization a little bit later, so I wasn't a part of like the original brainstorming. There was a group of women who started it themselves, Tigray Tees. But I think it was just kind of a statement in the beginning of the war to just kind of like remind people like like this is not what we should be about. Like we should be, you know, like doing other things, not focusing on war. It's also was like a really digestible statement. Anybody who's been keeping up with the conflict and the advocacy like from day one knows that there were a lot of back and forth from different communities in terms of what slogans should be used. Oh, this is divisive, this isn't. And I know for me, when I first saw Make Injera Not War, I remember seeing the Instagram page, kind of just like you had just mentioned. I saw it on Instagram, and I was kind of like, oh, this is like a little bit different, you know, because it was something that people can't really try to argue with, and then if they do, they're gonna look pretty crazy because it's like, who wants war? Like nobody should want that end of the day. So also I think like the really catchy design has been something that's been pretty cool because as we know, like these days everybody Instagrams everything, everybody puts everything on their stories. So it's just been a statement that's like really simple, memorable, and kind of just easy to digest.
I love it. I love it. I just remember one day getting tagged and stuff, and I was just like, cool. Like, you know what I mean? Because I get tagged in a lot of random things, so I'm always kind of like, what is this? But it was super consistent. And then when the merch came, it made sense to me. And it was like, no, this is our only purpose. This is what we're doing, is making sure that we're focusing on this war, and we're focusing on, like, to me, what I read it as was like break bread. You know what I mean? Like, we should be breaking bread, not fighting each other, is how I took it. And everyone knows like injera as a concept is a group thing, right? Like you eat as a group, and you're supposed to be in community with one another. So I appreciated that. Oh, okay. I see Make Injera made it in here. Okay, so we got the account in here. So maybe you could drop it in the comments. We're just talking about the original kind of thought frame in terms of like why call it Make Injera Not War, right? And I'm with it. There's a lot, especially because for me, like I get triggered very easily, and so sometimes using the language about the conflict, right, and like it makes me uncomfortable. Like at this point, I have, you know, saying genocide has gotten easier, but I think my brain still doesn't really digest what that means. And so it's almost an easier way for you guys to have a conversation with someone. Like when they see your shirt, like it's an easier conversation starter than to like say there's a genocide. Because most people read it, they see it, and they're just like, they don't know how to approach that conversation about like, wait, what's going on? You know what I mean? And I think what you guys did here is really smart. So I love it. Can you talk a little bit about too, kind of just like for you, what has the last 8 months and even just learning and growing in this internship, like what that has kind of taught you?
Yeah, so when the war first started, I was like very, very close about like Ethiopian politics. Like it's also somebody who just like grew up like generally is like in the Ethiopian community. So like when I saw this all happening, I really thought like what I thought was gonna happen was I thought all Ethiopians were gonna rally against this war. I thought like it was gonna be something where people really like shoot this down really quickly and realize, you know, like this isn't good for our country. You know, this is a third world country. We don't need war. We can't afford this. We should be developing. But quickly, I saw on Twitter, Instagram, how many people I like saw as friends, saw as like colleagues or classmates even supported this, and I realized, okay, this thing I thought that was like supposed to be really united, super cool, is actually not, and I immediately kind of had to like find a community. So a lot of Tagaro have been like on Clubhouse. I've probably like connected with a lot of other Tagaro, and I was thankful to engage with some people who got me connected with Make Injera, and that's how I was able to intern with them. So basically, it was nice because there were a lot of different organizations popping up, but I really felt like I could relate to Make Injera. It was also something where like I felt like I didn't have to know like every single thing about Tigray to be involved. All you have to do is care about the people, care about what's going on, and just want to do the work at the end of the day. So yeah, but in general, these past 8 months have been like really, really difficult. And I would say also I'm originally from Seattle, Washington, but I moved to DC for school. So I'm somewhere where I'm away from my family, where I have a lot of friends who may not even understand what's going on. Like all my friends are not Ethiopian. So at the end of the day, like when I want to tell my people, like my friends, like what's going on in my home country, like you mentioned earlier, it's so triggering to sometimes use the word genocide. Like there are some days where I literally just, if somebody asks me, like I don't even feel like explaining it, because it's like, oh my God, like this is really a lot to talk about. So I've been really comfortable with like sharing the Make Injera page, sharing the website, and having kind of like a calm way to explain to people what's going on and just how to get involved in a very simple and, you know, cute way where you can just wear a shirt and start conversations about it. So yeah, these past 8 months have been hard, but it's also been nice to find community at the same time, and to also go into advocacy spaces where I've been able to grow that community.
Yeah, it's been phenomenal, honestly, to see it grow from day one and to see where you're at now. And like for all those reasons you mentioned, it has been wild. And you reminded me, I was like, I remember meeting you, I think through Clubhouse, very early on. And I just remember being in rooms because I tried to be a wallflower, like at least in the beginning. Okay, now I'm just forget about it. But in the beginning, I was just like, oh, let me just be a wallflower and kind of just listen to people speak and, all of those things. And I remember being very impressed by you. I felt like you held your own. There's a lot of times where people are trying to gaslight you. They're trying to come crazy, like out of left field. And, there's you and there's a few others I know that, that you're close to, that I was like, okay, the young ones got this. I don't gotta be in here. They're holding it down. They're not letting anybody come crazy at them, and they are correcting everything that is false. And I was just like, all right, I can't wait. I was like, I love this. I can't wait to just see where it goes. And then when I found out you were interning there, I was like, oh, okay, hold on, let me find out. Because there was a period, and I'm going to just say this for you. You don't even have to, this is me. This is Hannah speaking right now. There was a period where there was a lot of hateration and holleration, as Lil Ul would say. You already know. I don't know if he's gonna watch this at some point, but Lil had me weak. He was like, the hater. Anyways, the point is, there's a lot of companies out, right? Like, there's a lot of organizations that started because of this war, for the sole purpose of raising awareness and getting funds back home. Like, that is it. Period. Right? Nobody is out here like. I mean, maybe there are some people, but I can at least say, I was like, I don't know how to position them, because like I want them to have their privacy. They're entitled to that, because there's also a lot of harassment that we receive. And so I do remember having a few DMs just like, I don't know who this is, and kind of just getting a spiel. But for me, I respect people's privacy, because I'm a public face now, but doesn't mean everybody wants to be one. And I think one day I seen like your picture on a flyer or something, and I was just like, oh, okay, there's somebody I can reach out to, right? That, at least is a little bit comfortable. But to say the least, like, how has it been for you, kind of, because when you're in these spaces, in these advocacy spaces, you're dealing with a lot of like BS, like, you know what I mean? Just a lot. And so how have you been able to kind of like grow in that and like learn to take care of yourself and kind of set those boundaries?
So you really hit the point there. Like, I think a lot of people have felt like a lot of insecurity throughout like the past 8 months or so, because we've seen fake GoFundMes, we've seen pages who pretended to be from Tigray but they're not, and they've collected money and had like people think it's going one place but it's not. So that has like been something that like Make Injera has had to deal with, in terms of like, because the people who did start it and who run it are anonymous, all for their own personal reasons, because people have certain jobs, people have family back home that they're worried about. And some people are also just a lot more comfortable behind the scenes and just want to have like other people, be the face, or other people just kind of, do that work for them. So in something with advocacies, does need to be transparency, because you can't just say you're doing all these things and, not really have the kind of, evidence for it. So definitely when I started interning for them, there was a lot of people who were like, oh, okay, so you work for them. And it was kind of a point where people were able to feel a little bit more comfortable, because it's really difficult when you see a lot of work going on, but you can't attach it to a community. And Tigray community is so small. Like, if somebody's working in something, someone's going to want to know the exact name, what city they're from, who their cousin is, where they're
right. Guamen, with the men, like, yeah.
But it was like, there were definitely a lot of people who hit me up and were kind of just like, oh, okay, like this makes sense now. And yeah, but Make Injera, if you go on our Instagram page, we have the receipts posted of money being sent back home. And of course, the owner of Operation Rescue is familiar with Make Injera and knows that we are working with them. So it's been hard in these advocacy spaces, but at the same time, like, you just have to understand where people are coming from at the same time, because you can't be completely mad, because people are insecure. They've like, lost a part of them with this war, in terms of like, a lot of people were proud Ethiopians before, and now just do not mess with that at all anymore. And with that comes a lot of just kind of like watching your back and making sure that we're not having people pretend to be a part of our community who are just taking advantage of it.
Absolutely. And you highlighted something, or you brought it up, and I want us to highlight it, is that you're working and partnering with NGOs on the ground to get life-saving aid, right, to these people. So for people who don't know about Operation Rescue, could you just give like a brief kind of like who they are, what they're doing?
Yeah, so basically Operation Rescue, it's an internationally recognized NGO, and the owner comes from Brazil, and about 20 years ago, he actually decided to open up some locations in Tigray. So there are 3 locations. There's one in Adigrat, one in Adwa, and one in Mekelle. So basically they work with orphaned and vulnerable children. If you've been to Tigray or even just any other part of Ethiopia in general, you'll notice on the streets there are a lot of children who are begging for money, who probably like they don't have like the best access to even clean clothes, or somewhere to even sleep at nighttime. So basically Operation Rescue uses facilities to give daily meals to children, medical assistance, and even academic support. And if you go check out their website as well, they even show like the programs they have for kids. And throughout this war, Operation Rescue has played a really important part. We know like there are a lot of IDPs who are moving in from Western Tigray and other places into bigger cities like Mekelle and the other cities that their facilities are in. And there's no food, so people are kind of relying on these organizations and the other NGOs working in the areas to kind of support with food, support with anything that can kind of just make the situation a little bit better. And Operation Rescue has been a really integral part of that. And the really nice part is they have Tigrayans working a part of it as well. So if you go to their website, you'll see that they have Tigrayan workers. You'll see that like the children and families who do come and get help from them are very thankful. In general, it's just a really nice NGO, and it's not too big at the same time. As you know, kind of things, I don't know if you know this actually, but a lot of people have, like, if you donate to the UNHCR, or you donate to these really, really big organizations, a lot of money has to go towards administrative support, advertising, whatever they do to, kind of maintain their big organization. But when you work with these smaller NGOs, it's nice because you can kind of see your money go directly to where it needs to go. And
Exactly.
This, right.
Yeah, it's not that they aren't. I know too, in the beginning of the war, like when people were trying to figure out where do we donate and how do we get money there, we were having difficulty making sure that like these organizations were earmarking the money for Tigray, right? Because they have like an overall mission of like providing aid to anyone in need, right? So sometimes if there's multiple conflicts going on, their resources are going to go to the most dire. And because there was a communication blackout and all of these things, it's not like we could just, we had a hard time like convincing people that what was happening was even happening, right? So let alone trying to convince them that they have to earmark it for Tigray specifically, right? So I think at some point, 1 or 2 of them started to do that, but Operation Rescue has been on the grounds in Tigray for a long time. They're very familiar. People know them. This is not like an overnight sensation. We are all overnight sensations. They are not, right? So I'm really happy that you're partnering with them, especially when we're thinking about the kids, because I always think about the Mended kids. You know what I mean? Like, I know my grandmas always take them in, and whenever I would go home, I'd be like, whose kid is this? Like, there's always somebody's kid in our house. And they were like, and they kind of tell you or whatever, but it's always been that, right? But there's only so much you can do, and so you do need these like larger organizations who can what is it called, not just larger, but you do need like NGOs and just like specific organizations that are focused on them, because all of us are suffering and somebody needs to like be taking care of these kids. Imagine like your parents they have to go fight or whatever the case is. Like, what are you gonna do? You might be 16 years old and maybe how to like cook for yourself or something, but you're definitely not mature enough to be on your own, right? So I appreciate them, and I'm glad that that's who you're working with. Especially like, I don't know if everyone heard the news today about like MSF like pausing. I forgot what the acronym is.
Yeah, they're withdrawing from Tigray because of the violence, and it's really sad. So like, yeah, for people who haven't heard, there was 3 Doctors Without Borders workers who were murdered in Tigray, and they're now calling for investigations. But it's really sad because Doctors Without Borders did like a lot of like really important and really great work in Tigray. Like, not only were they giving humanitarian assistance, but compared to a lot of like NGOs, they're very vocal in terms of like with what they see on the ground. So they would report on, we saw that, you know, these people were being killed. Like, they're not the type of NGO that just sees something and looks away. They were really, you know, they were really integral to the community. And it's sad because organizations pull out, the burden falls on those organizations who actually don't have a choice to come out of Tigray. So Operation Rescue, no matter what, they'll be in Tigray one way or another, because, you know, a lot of the workers are Tagaru, they live in Tigray, and they have to support those kids. So it's sad to see Doctors Without Borders go, but also we can be thankful for like organizations that like Operation Rescue who are in Tigray and won't be leaving.
I mean, yeah, think about it though. Like anybody, right? Like as a business person, right? You're liable for your workers. And so when you're sending them into a conflict zone, you got to be the person that calls their family to let them know that they didn't make it out. Exactly. Right? And like, I don't know about you, but I'm not trying to I've had to make those phone calls, and they're difficult. They're very difficult. And I don't think the rest of us are prepared, right? So it's such a burden to ask people, right? Like to go risk their lives, to go save other people's lives, right? And then for them to be targeted in that way is just beyond me. And then the fact that people still want to have like, you're gonna deny, like, I don't want to go on a whole tangent, but you're gonna deny that, and then you have aid workers that are being targeted. Like, it just doesn't make any sense to me. And it hurts my heart, right? Like, it really hurts my heart because we need them there. And I don't know, I'm kind of grappling with it myself, but it is a difficult phone call to make. Like, that is somebody's parent who was, you know, like maybe in a safer space, and they went there to help. And, you know, that's just, to me, is what I think about. And so like the work that you guys are doing, the work that these NGOs are doing, it's like the least we can do is support the people that are supporting our people, right? So I'm really proud of you guys for that. So thank you for the work. You're getting lots of love in the comments, by the way. We got a lot of love for Eden in the comments today, and for Make Injera and the work that you guys are doing. Yes, Operation Rescue has been in Tigray for 20 years. They are a solid group of people, and yeah, we definitely want to big that up, and we want to big up the work that you're doing, because socially conscious fashion is big. Like this era of fashion is about wearing what you believe. And I'm glad that you guys were able to like get in that, because literally, I don't know about you guys, I feel like every day I'm looking at, like, we're not wearing just regular clothes anymore. We're wearing our statements like loud. Like, there's like every day I'm seeing anti-racist, anti-this, you know what I mean, or pro this or whatever. And so it's a time for people to make a stance, and you're giving us a way to make a stance that is accessible. So I appreciate that, but I cannot ignore this part of the conversation. Your guys' Twitter is top tier, sis. Top tier. I just cannot. So listen, I don't know if I'm not going to ask you to go into the makeup of how that happens, but I have to just say, you guys crack me up. Like, I was like,
yeah. No, I don't run the Twitter. You know, I wish I could say I was the one who wrote those tweets, but the person who does run the Twitter, they have me dying too. I think like we've gotten to, like, I don't know, the first few months of the war on Twitter, like, this is how it went for me. Like, the first few months were just literally just so annoying, because it was constant arguments, constant just like, you know, who's right, who's wrong. And then it got really sad once like we saw all the articles and stuff. And then like once it started to progress more, I feel like people are getting into the point where like we're more comfortable with joking, of course not about the conflict, but more in terms of like, you know, the people that we have to deal with, in terms of like, you know, Hugdef or whoever we're talking about. And I think it's nice that the Make Injera page can kind of serve as somewhere where people can just go laugh and kind of can just, you know, take a break from like also seeing super sad stuff. But of course, Make Injera does also advocate at the same time. But I think the personality of it does serve purpose that is really important right now.
It literally has me on the floor sometimes. I cannot, because here's the thing, right? I'm not like, I'm usually, I don't know how, I just don't really like troll most of the time. My energy isn't set up that way. But like, if you catch me on a good day, I just want to PSA to everybody, if you catch me on a good day, I might give you a good read, right? And those of you who don't know a read, I'm gonna need you to Google that. But what I'm saying is it's not like you guys are saying obscene things, right? Like, you're literally calling out the nonsense that Tagadu have to deal with every day. Like every day it's like a new like ridiculous conspiracy comes out, or another, they create new fancy ways to gaslight us constantly. And it's just like, I know for a fact, if I go on Twitter, Make Injera has already handled it, right? Like every single time I'm just like, yes, please, somebody talk sense to these people, because I don't have that energy. So I appreciate it. Because it's like the dumbest things that just don't have logic. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
you're just like, what is that? Where did that come from?
Yeah, no, every day on Twitter, I honestly get more and more surprised about the things I see. Like, even the other day, the Make Injera Not War account got blocked by Yamane Gabarmaska. Was that his name? The Minister of Information.
Misinformation, the minister of misinformation.
Yeah,
Okay, that's what I'm calling him.
it's like, imagine like the Minister of Misinformation blocking, like, blocking a charity, or not a charity organization. Like, it's just like hilarious. And like every day I go on Twitter, like it becomes funnier and funnier, but in a sad way, because these people are like actually dead ass. Like they're not joking. But
They're not.
all we can
They're
do is,
not joking at all. It's scary,
nah,
actually.
it's actually, yeah. And also it makes you wonder, like 5-10 years from now, like are these people going to be comfortable like looking back on themselves and like realizing exactly what they have said and what the implications it had?
I don't know. Honestly, I feel like they're not losing sleep over it, which concerns me. But listen, all I know is if I ever need a good chuckle, if I ever need a good chuckle, or if anybody has been extra annoying in the trolling sphere of our oppositions, um, I just know I can just go to Twitter and Make Injera will have already handled it, and I'm just like, yes,
No, I'm happy to
thank
hear.
you. Yeah, the people are agreeing with me in the comments. I'm crying. They said they're gonna have to take it up with God, child. Listen, yeah.
God might not even want to pick it up with them, bro. He's gonna look at that.
Yeah, he might put you on hold. He might put you on pause. Like, sir, I did not give you those directions. I don't know what shaitan you were following, but no, 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 no. He might have to put those people on timeout. I'm crying though. Yeah, everyone's agreeing. Everyone's agreeing that Twitter is 100%. It's 100% the way to go. It cracks me the hell up, and I think we gotta call it out like we see it. Call it out. Like it's false. It's false information. And it gotta go. And so I'm just in here like, I'm glad, because honestly, this time has been so difficult. So if we can find a way to laugh, like we're gonna laugh. That's the one thing to God we're gonna do. We're gonna laugh. We're going to. You're not like, you sound crazy. So like it's either like get mad or laugh about it, right? And like roast. We're a roasting culture. You're gonna
Yo,
get roasted.
like sometimes too, like we have a lot of parents who like join Twitter for like the Omna campaigns and Stand with Tigray campaigns, and it's even funny like seeing what the parents say in like Tigrinya or Amharic, even sometimes when they're like arguing with like government supporting Eritreans, or just like Ethiopians who want to act up. It makes me laugh every single day. Like I literally spend like half my day laughing at like what I see and then the responses.
I kid you not. Like, so I tweeted this a while ago, and I said, I'm just my mom in English, right? Like, and all of us diaspora are like proving that every day, because they're like, it's so funny when the parents come back to us and they're like, I didn't teach you that. I said, are you sure? Are you sure? Are you sure? Because you do it. You just do it differently, but definitely your child.
Because we did not learn this. Because who else taught us?
Like, where do you think we got our sense of humor? Where do you think we learned it? We learned it at home. So it's always been a Tagado trait. I think like there's a lot of things I will debate with people, but the one thing I will say about Tagado is that our comedy is top tier, top tier, and Make Injera is no exception. Oh man, okay. I just had to highlight that because it was just hilarious to me. But in other news, Eden, how are you doing with everything? It's we're getting kind of good news. We're starting to like whatever, it's right now, it's like we're getting good news, but we also know that when people lose and they're sore losers, they try to take it out on you. So we're not out of the woods yet. So how are you able to like still kind of focus and like put in the work, and like what are you hoping for, in terms of, you know, I'm like this, like the war is gonna end soon. What are your thoughts around all of that?
Yeah, so yeah, in terms of like I agree with you about kind of like there have been some wins lately, but at the same time we do know like although, you know, TDF thankfully has been able to control many cities in Tigray, thank God. At the same time, you know, like the famine is still very real. There's still so many blocks in terms of like getting food into the area. And then also like you said, like we really do not know what's next. And something I've had to do personally, and I know like some other people have had to do the same thing as well, is like I've had to really just like set limits for myself in terms of like I want to keep advocating. I want to make sure that I don't burn out. So something that I've done is like I've made sure that like I don't argue with people as much in terms of like I'm not gonna sit with an Ethiopian anymore or and you know some type of Eritrean who wants to claim like you know there's no war, there's no genocide, TPLF is the issue. I've had to kind of like take a step back from that. I've tried like using Clubhouse and like other things less often, sorry. Just because you know, it was wasting a lot of time at a certain point. And then also when you think about it, all the time we spend arguing can really just go towards advocacy. And we've even seen too how like, you know, on Clubhouse people have been able to meet like the CEO of T-Mobile and get $20,000 from him. Other people have been able to speak with, you know, journalists and like really be able to get our stories out. So at this point in the war, I'm just kind of trying to see, you know, like how can I stay productive? How can I make sure that like what I'm doing for Tigray is gonna make, you know, is gonna contribute to the war ending? Yeah. Besides that, you know, I've also just been kind of considering too how with like these kind of semi wins we have, like what does that mean for oh, okay, yeah, he's right.
Oh, 25, 25.
Yeah,
Correct us.
I have to come correct. That was my bad. But yeah, just kind of like as we, you know, like consider like these good things that are happening, like what does this look like? Like I don't know if you heard about this, Hannah, but recently in DC there were two older men who were attacked after the victory, and it kind of made me think about, you know, like even back home people are gonna, you know, be targeted for kind of, you know, being proud about where they're from. And I think like before a lot of people who kind of like liked hating on us could pretend that you know what we were saying wasn't gonna happen, we were dreamers, you know, but it's actually going into full effect. And I've kind of had to like really like look at like where I am, who I'm around, and kind of just like think about how like wow, like this is serious and we really have to like brace ourselves from like for what our community will look like from here on out, in terms of like we already know we have the Tigray community, but also making sure that we're very aware of those who do want to see us fall, who do want to see us, you know, be hurt.
Exactly. It's wild to me. It's wild. And that's why I tell people, like, especially in the diaspora, because a lot of people, like, behind the scenes will ask me for advice too. That's why I wanted you to kind of give it to them, because I'm just saying the same thing, but nobody wants to listen to it. So I'm like, all right, whatever. Don't come to me for therapy later, though. So it literally is wild that they feel like conflict just stays in that place. No, we're all over the world. Like, it is a global environment. Like, you're not gonna, there's no country where you're not gonna find immigrants at this point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because of how many wars have been fought. So to think that we're gonna be in the diaspora and not have tensions and arguments and fights with people here, like they're wild, they're out of control. But then for them to think that they can get away with the same thing that they're getting away with back there here, no, I'm gonna say it right now, PSA, I will call the cops. I'm telling you right now, I ain't no qualms about it. If you a genocide supporter and you come at me left, just know you're leaving in cuffs. Like, you're leaving in cuffs if the police get to you first. But I'm just saying, like, it's ridiculous. Like, you're gonna go after people here, like the gunman that was in LA. Like,
yeah, oh, I forgot about that. Him too. Yeah,
people are not sane. Like, they're not sane at all.
You know what's funny, actually? I tweeted about this once, but it wasn't anything serious, but I was wearing my Make Injera Not War tote in Silver Spring, which is my own mistake. I had to go run errands there. And I'm walking, and then this Habesha guy sitting outside one of the Ethiopian cafes is like, Make Injera, is she? And he's basically just trying to, like, you know, annoy the fuck out of me. And him and his friend just start laughing. And I get so mad, so I, like, look back at him. I'm like, what'd you say? And then the guy gets super scared, and he's just like, I think he didn't expect me to respond to him, or he didn't think I would hear. I don't know what it was.
Yeah.
But even like I thought about it, I'm like, wow, like even wearing a shirt or a tote as simple as that, they still have something to say. And it kind of just shows how like we really do have to be aware of our surroundings, you know, self-defense, get a taser, get whatever you need to if you have to, because these people are actually crazy. You never know what they'll do. And like you never know who's like looking for you either, because a lot of these people are like actually stalkers. Like they may see you on Twitter, they may see you on Instagram, but they actually might want to find you in person. And I think that also goes to show why we have a lot of people in our community who choose to advocate behind the scenes or just don't want their faces being shown. Because if you live in certain cities like the DMV, you live in Seattle, Bay Area, there are a lot of Habashits, and some of them actually might just be insane.
Yeah, that part. I'm like I said, I already left the hood, but don't ever let that confuse you and think I don't know how to survive there. You feel me? Like don't let that confuse you. I might live with bunnies now in the burbs, but I still come from Oakland. So
Yeah.
I let people know if it's not Oakland, it's the Tigray in me, and that Wayane will kick in real quick. Like is what I try to let people know. Yeah, it reminded me of the poster that like they went like a little viral that my friend was using at the last protest, and it was like, you fuck with the wrong generation. I said that part. Like I'm not my mama and I'm not my dad. Like I promise you to God, I'm not playing with y'all. So it's wild to me that people think that they can take it that far. Like it's wild to me. But if you see it though, like the amount of like atrocities that our people are facing, it almost doesn't surprise me anymore. It's just like, oh y'all, you guys think you're gonna get away with it here too? Oh no. We're not playing that game with y'all. Like what?
I don't know why they think this is Ethiopia. Like acting like there's no law and order. Like, I mean, the thing is too is like, like I'm not in support of how like, how brutal and how serious our like police system is, but it really shocks me to see how like these people move like we're back home. Like you really think like these street corners don't have cameras when you're trying to run people over or do whatever the fuck you're trying to do? Like I don't know.
Yeah, and what are they gonna do? What are they gonna do? Run back? Because so here's the other thing that like has been historic. Not to cut you off, is like they'll come from Adi, right? From different parts of Adi, and this is everybody. This has been the case for a long time, and I'm saying this from a personal place because this happened to my family last year, or actually, oh my God, it's been a little over a year now because we're in the summer. They commit crimes here, like, and then they'll go back and they'll run back home to Adi. You know what I mean? To run away from the law. This is literally what happened. In case anyone was wondering, like my cousin was, I'm not going to go into the, trigger warnings right now. I'm not going to go all the way there. Just know my cousin passed for reasons she shouldn't have. And the guy went and fled back home to Adi. You know why? Because he knew he would be safe there.
Yeah.
Like, he knew that like nobody, like it would be easier for him to hide and this, that, and the third. Right now, Adi is in chaos. So any of you crazy people who think that you're gonna get away with crimes here, you're gonna run away back to Adi's in chaos. Have fun fleeing there. Like it's not gonna happen. So I just think, Tagaru, let's just pay attention to our surroundings. Make sure you're checking up on each other. You sense any weird energy around you, don't second guess that. Like address it right away, because there are a lot of people out here who do not want you well. So I just want my Tagaro to be safe, our allies to be safe, because they attack our allies too. And it's like, you're attacking people because they're saying that there's a genocide happening. That alone should tell you that person is not in the right frame of mind. Like,
yeah,
do not approach. Like because they obviously have no regard for humanity. So they're not going to have regard for yours, is how I see it.
No, yeah, I had an incident too where like I brought two friends who were not from Tigray to a protest, or actually three of them, and they went to go grab something from the car midway through, and some Ethiopian guy was just like parked outside. This is at one of the DC protests, and he approaches my friends and he asks them like, "Oh, are y'all here for the Tigray protest?" And they're like, "Oh yeah." Like they don't know any better. You don't just like tell anybody that you're there for that, you know? And then I don't remember the exact wording, but he basically goes forth and makes a joke about how like Abi's killing your family and like Isas is raping your women, just like something like really gross basically. And like just goes to your point about attacking allies. Like I even like feel bad because I have some friends who like even are not African, think they can go up to any Ethiopian and just ask them about what's going on in Tigray, and then they get like the craziest ass responses, and they come back to me. And I'm like, I don't even know how to break this down to you. Like, I don't even know how to explain why I somehow was from the same border at one point of these people, because they do not move the same. I don't know what Agazi said. He said that punks in real life. They only act bold up until you hold your own, then they get scared. Yeah, that's facts, Gazi.
Yeah, all the time. It is wild to me, and that, like I said, um, if you if you ain't got the hood in you like the rest of us, go ahead and get you a taser, some pepper spray. I'm gonna get some anyways, just because I'm too old to be dealing with people like this.
Mm-hmm.
It's also why I stay in my own zone, in my own lane, in my own space. I'm like, listen, I'm already dealing with enough stress of worrying about my family back home. I'm not gonna also open up myself to you guys so you can continue to kick somebody when they're down. I don't have respect for anybody like that. I always tell people that mom be calling me like I'm not doing a whole show. Like, ma'am. Anyways, she's used to me doing it later in the afternoon, but you already know. I'm just, yeah, we're done with that. Protect your peace, protect your energy. Boundaries are your friends, okay? I bring all that up to say there's a reason why, like you said, I want to highlight this for all you nosy people who want to know who runs this page, okay? It's none of your business. I'm saying that with my whole chest. It's none of your business. Eden's an intern, and she's already putting herself at risk, right? Like she's already being harassed and approached by people, and that's how we got to protect our own. Like, not everyone needs to know everything all the time. Like, if it's verified and it's been verified by a few people, that's it. Like, everything else is not anyone else's concern. How you protect your peace and your safety and your boundaries is up to you. That's why I asked you too, because I was like, are you taking care of your mental? Because like, I know from running my own platform and page, the amount of DMs that you guys get, the amount of comments that you guys get, the amount of trolls you guys have to deal with every day. And your only goal is to spread awareness and provide funds for the people back home. Like, that's literally your thing. You guys see it. I have it pinned. Get your tote, get your t-shirt, okay?
Yeah.
Get your tote, get your t-shirt. Actually, I got the other shirt too. Okay?
You
Got
got
the
it.
tote.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Oh,
You
you
know,
got I'm
the
not a fake
white
support.
one's icy. I have the black one right now.
Oh no, I thought about it and I said, it's summer and it's hot. So I was like, I don't want to wear no more black. I already learned the hard way. So I was like, thank God they got white options. I was like, let me get both of them because I need to be able to switch them,
Period.
for days. I like it too because it's like a smaller pocket, so it's not always so big. But
Mm-hmm.
I just appreciate having options. You know what I mean? What did Benjamin say? He said, I've been saying this from the jump. We verified the page, protect our people. Amen. Listen, like I'm co-signing, Benjamin's co-signing. That's it. I don't want to hear nothing else about Make Injera. Y'all are doing phenomenal work, and you're doing phenomenal work. I'm really proud of you. I know it's hard. You're in school. You traveled across the country. You're away from home, and to deal with all of this, you're doing a great job. I know that you got good people around you, so I'm sure they're checking in on you. But my door's open too. Oh yeah, she said Eden is the GOAT. All right, we
Say it.
already you heard it. You heard it here first.
Yeah.
Okay, you got the cosign. Okay, I do with the cosign as well. I love it. So what I will say too is, you already know we're coming to the end of the show. Um, I feel like I know a little bit. I know where you might be going in life, but I'm gonna still ask you anyway. So you ready? You ready for the question?
Yeah, I'm ready. Yeah.
Okay, because everybody be acting like they ready and then they be like stuck when I ask. So, Edem Are, what do you want your legacy to be?
Yeah, so my life goal has always been to work in public health and like eventually move to Ethiopia after I graduate. Now, like, I'm really like, I'm graduating this next year. So, what I really want to do is kind of do humanitarian work in Tigray after I graduate and kind of help with the rebuilding process. So, currently majoring in public health, minoring in international affairs. So I really want to work in national development, specifically like with like refugees. It's always been something I've cared about, but like with the war happening, it's became even more personal. So I'm really hoping, if everything goes right, if I'm able to go the path that I want to go, everything should hopefully work out.
Listen, I have Manifest Mondays. We don't use the word hope anymore. We use the word will. It will happen. You are going to get there. You're already in the perfect spot. Like, you're really in the perfect spot because you're already doing and building the relationships you need to build. so that when you go back home, you know, you're not starting from scratch. You know what I mean? Like, you're already connected. All of us fuck with you, so we gonna ride with you to the top. We gonna take you wherever you need to go. Don't be surprised when Eden has like a whole GoFundMe situation next year where she's trying to relocate her life. Okay, we gonna be there. We might even make it for you, sis, because we believe it. Everybody in here been hyping you up. I do said Eden's glow is effortless. Yep. Benyam said not if, when. Okay. We don't use the if word. We don't talk impossibilities anymore. We're talking about reality. The reality is, sis, you're already walking in your legacy. Everybody in here knows that. Why you think it's the middle of the afternoon? I'm pretty sure people are at work, but they want to watch you. You know why? Because we believe in you. We love the work that you're doing. We support you. We applaud you. We cheerlead you. It's all love for Eden. It's all love for Make Injera. Like, I hope you know, sis, I don't know that I had that. I had a lot of fire. I don't know I had the patience that you had at your age, and I definitely was not talking nice, okay? The way you be schooling people and she don't even be using cuss words, I'll be like, it took me a while to learn how to do that one. Okay, listen.
Much I can't even keep a straight face.
No, I'm telling you, sis, you're really like, I haven't even got to really spend as much time with you, and I know that. You know, I know that for a fact. I know the people who co-sign you, like, they're all like, Eden's amazing. I don't question my friends. You know what I mean? I don't question them at all. So I hope you're receiving that. I hope you know that we're with you, sis, and whatever you need, we got you.
No, I appreciate it so much. Thank you, Hannah, for, you know, having me here today, letting me, you know, talk about Make Injera, and then also just, you know, your kind words. I appreciate it more than you know. And everybody in the comments too. I love you all so much.
Oh yeah, Seattle. You already know how Seattle is. Seattle shows up. They said
literally, I see Seattle in the comments.
They said so proud of you. Everybody's so proud of you, Edu. They're saying we love you, Hafte. Yeah, you got lots of love today. You got lots of love. I appreciate everybody. Yo, keep killing it. Again, everybody, if you have not, go purchase your shirt and your tote at Make Injera. It's pinned here. You can go to their Instagram page. They have a website as well. I literally ordered mine like last week because I was like, oh my God, I forgot to get my shirt. Because I'm always in your guys' thing, so I just be assuming, you know, like, I already know. And then I was like, oh shoot. So I ordered it and I got it right in time for the show. And I was like, yes, like, because I needed it for the protest too. So I was like, all right, y'all, it comes, it's good quality. You got options.
It's soft
okay?
too. It's really soft.
Yes, I put it on today. I was like, oh.
I know, I like wearing it. It's really soft.
It's really soft. It's a good overall like concept, idea, and your execution. I just see like every day you guys are growing, getting even more connected, building more partnerships, and I see that for y'all. I see Make Injera is going to be really pivotal for the rebuild too. So this is something that we got to really support and rally behind as a community. And I just wanted to make sure I was like, listen, when you ready, the platform is open. Y'all was ready, and I was happy to have you. So thank you so much. I swear, I was like, man, I just want to help them, but I don't know how else I can do it. So I love all of y'all at the Make Injera team. Phenomenal work. And I just can't wait. We gonna be watching, baby girl. Whatever you launch next, whatever you into, let me know. You already know this is a home for you. Come tell us anytime. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of little girls that are looking up to you and wanting to follow your footsteps. So, you know, I'm proud of you. You're doing amazing.
Thank you so much, Hannah, and I appreciate it so much. And thank you, you know, for bringing me on your podcast, giving us the offer, endless, you know, gratefulness.
No problem. So everybody, that wraps up Black Women Wednesday. Y'all have a good rest of your week. Don't forget, launching a new men's segment on Sunday. Not gonna drop any names or nothing, but he may already be in the comments. I don't know, coming on Sunday. So we're gonna have an amazing time on that new segment. The guys are ready. They've been waiting to talk, so they're gonna be talking a lot. Y'all said you wanted to hear from the men. They got something to say. I hope y'all ready to listen. So again, that's gonna be Sunday, but thank you again. That's Black Women Wednesday. Everybody have a good rest of your day. Bye. Y'all.
Hannah again.
Thank you.